Do you need to take a leave of absence from work because your back went out? In this video, I tell you about how to take a lot of time off. And if you stay with me through, I tell you how to work when you want if you have flare-ups. And I'll share my experience with taking time off. Hi, if you're new here, it's Healthy Back Girl, and my name is Kamalla. Yes, that's my real name. And I help moms get rid of DDD back pain with mindset, nutrition, and routine. This is part one of a series, so subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you know when I do release the next part. Okay, so if you work for 12 months and your job has 50 employees, first you need to get an FMLA form, which is a Family and Medical Leave Act form. And you get that from your company's HR. You have to get your doctor to state that you are not fit for work, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally. Next, return the FMLA form to your HR to get short-term leave of absence. It can be 12 weeks to 1 year, and you have to use your PTO first. So just make sure you check with your job's rules and regulations. So you have to give your HR and your supervisor your status during the leave, which means you have to let them know if you need more time or if you will be going back to work. So during this time you don't get paid, but you still get to have all your benefits. If you need long-term leave benefits, then you have to complete a form at the end of your short-term leave to another insurance company that's not related to your job. And at this point your employer can send you a message saying that if you do not return to work soon, then they can let you go from your position. So when you're ready to return to work, just get your doctor to verify this. Okay, so here are some tips to make this process smoother. But first, please take the time to like this video if you are getting something out of it. Okay, so back to the tips. If your boss needs more information or a document from you, then just give it to them, because then if you don't, they can say that you didn't comply and then you could be let go for that. Next, make sure that your doctor's notes and your paperwork states that you are expecting to come back. You need an expected date of return or you will return. Okay, and also if it's going to be with restrictions or without restrictions, because if you don't, then they'll fire you. Also, don't lie about anything that's going on with you, none of your conditions or your status with your medical. And if your job violates by firing you for taking leave, fire you during leave, or demote you to a lower position, ask you to do any work during your leave, then check with your state's laws for complaints against job retaliation, and that's with the EEOC, which is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. So do practice self-care. You can volunteer to work to get paid. You can have a second job, but only if that second job is not similar to your current job, and only if your current job doesn't state that you can't have another job, if they didn't state that already. Okay, so here's how you work when you want to with DDD back pain. It's called intermittent leave. Americans with Disabilities Act, which is the ADA, allows for requests for accommodations at work or leave to return to work. So your employer needs to know when your issue started, also need to know how long to expect it to last. They also need to know what they can do to help you, and they need to know the time of the leave, like a certain amount of days, weeks, months. They don't need to know your diagnosis, but they do need to know if you do need a leave. And if you have a flare-up or you need to go to your physical therapy, PT, take the day. But if your accommodation caused your employee to have hardship, which means it's negatively affecting their business, or your leave is indefinite, meaning they don't know when you're returning, then they can place you in another position that is available. Okay, so what's been your experience with getting time off because of your back? Put that in the comments and let me know. With my experience after DDD collapse, I used up all of my PTO, so that means all my sick time, my family illness time, my personal days, which came to about 15 days that I used up in a matter of a month. And I basically had to go online to request my time off, but like every couple of days, I was contacting the job to let them know how I was feeling, whether I was coming back or not. And that was with the school. With the other job, I ended up having to use my FMLA while I was working at the store. So how that happened was I called up originally to take days off. Told them that I didn't know how long I'd be calling for days off, and then they told me if I continue to take days off, then I would be separated from the position. So I had to contact HR in order to get a leave. So then what I did, I spoke to a rep. They asked me a bunch of questions. They ended up sending me my FMLA form over by email, and I had to get my specialist doctor's appointment and had them filled out the form. So within 2 weeks that was complete. But then what happened was the insurance company kept checking up on me, asking me what was going on with my situation, and then I had to go back to the specialist to get them to fill out another form because I still couldn't go back to work. So at this point, I just told the specialist to extend my time for like 2-3 months so that I wouldn't have to keep getting all these paperwork every couple of weeks. And so when I was ready to go back, all I did was just call the job and check the schedule so that I know when I was able to go in, and that was it when I went back. And none of the supervisors that I worked with on any jobs were pleased at all. I don't know if they didn't believe that I couldn't walk and my back was really hurting me because I was so young, or they just thought that I just didn't want to work. I don't know. But that's what happened. Okay, look out next week for part 2 of the series for more ways to take leave. Thanks for watching.